Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this week for the Donor Conversation Weekly with Coach Tivy. I'm so excited to be joining you here today. We have a really important conversation to share with you all. It's been exciting to share each week a new practice scenario released into the Practivated dashboard for you all to dive into, practice, build those skills, and build that confidence. We are here to help provide a safe place for you to learn how to deepen those donor relationships, build your confidence, and learn how to say the right thing at the right time during this busy fundraising season. So I'm excited to share our conversation this week, but you may notice that I don't have my colleague Brian with me today. He is in the air flying currently to the AHP conference. So hopefully he'll get to see several of you at the conference, and we're looking forward to connecting there as well. So it'll be just me sharing the conversation. As always, each week, what we do is we dive right into the live simulation. I will walk through the donor conversation myself, and then we will take a look at our feedback page and maybe deepen that feedback and identify some areas where I can improve with Coach Tivy herself. So I am going to jump into our first conversation, and that is our well cultivated and ready to ask donor. In this scenario, I'm meeting with a well cultivated major donor, someone who already believes in our mission and is ready to talk about their next gift. It's one of the most high stakes conversations fundraisers have, especially during this fall fundraising season when we know every ask counts as we're getting to year end. And we're practicing how to clearly and confidently make that ask. So, ask effectiveness is going to be a large skill indicator here. Also, that vision and value articulation and building and showing that confidence throughout the call. And then also knowing when to pause and letting the donor respond and guide the next step. So it's all about that presence, confidence, and turning great relationships into real commitments. So here we go. We're gonna dive in.
Hi, I'm glad we could connect today. I've been looking forward to hearing more about what's ahead and how I might be involved this year.
It's so good to hear from you, Alex. I've really been looking forward to our conversation, following up the last few times we've been able to connect and share. I know we've talked a lot over the years, in the last few months, especially about your experience at Ohio State and how much this community means to you. And I wanted to share some updates about where things are headed and how I see you could play a key role in the next chapter.
Absolutely, Charlotte. That sounds wonderful. You know, every time we talk, I'm reminded of just how much Ohio State has shaped who I am. Some of my closest friendships started there, and I truly feel like the values I carry today were nurtured in that community. So hearing there's a new chapter unfolding definitely has my attention. I'd love to hear what's coming next and where you think I might be able to help move things forward.
Absolutely, Alex, and thank you for sharing that and for always being so honest about your experiences. And I thought of you immediately when I saw our plans for expanding the First Generation Scholars Program. I know how meaningful your experience at Ohio State was for not only you, but your family as a first generation student. And it's exactly the kind of transformational initiative I know you care deeply about. And as you know, more than 25% of our students at Ohio State are the first in their families to attend college. And we're seeing incredible potential, but the need for mentorship, housing stability, and internship access continues to grow in that area. And what excites me most is that we're not just helping students get to school, but we're helping them thrive once they're here. How does that resonate with you and your experience?
Oh, wow, Charlotte, this really hits home. Honestly, just hearing you say not just helping students get to school, but helping them thrive, gave me chills. That was exactly my journey. Getting there was one thing, but staying and succeeding, that took so much support I didn't even know I needed at the time. I remember feeling almost like I was speaking a new language when I first got to Ohio State, and the mentors and little bits of guidance I got made all the difference. To think that Ohio State is doubling down on supporting first-gen students in a more holistic way, that's incredibly meaningful. I know how much of an uphill climb it can feel like, especially if you don't have the same generational roadmap others might. So yes, it really resonates. It feels like an opportunity to give students the kind of scaffolding I wish more of us had back then. Not just to survive college, but to tap into all the promise inside them. Tell me more. What would support at the next level look like for these students? How would this expansion work in practice?
Yes, Alex, that's exactly it. You touched on just wanting to help these students thrive. It's not about just getting them in the door for us. It's about creating those programs within their first year and their second year, expanding housing options, um, standing up a mentorship program for first generation students. All of that is part of this initiative. And I know your past gifts have already created such a lasting change for so many Buckeyes. And I wanted to talk about how your next investment could help us expand this program statewide, ensuring that, first generation students have that support they need from day one through graduation. And you could even be involved in, the mentorship program and coming to campus and sharing more about your journey. And so that brings me a little bit up to speed with what I wanted to share today, which is we're launching the next phase of this initiative, and we're seeking a small group of lead donors who can help us reach the 1 million goal by next spring. And I'd love for you to consider um, a commitment around $100,000 is what we're asking this very special group, and potentially spread that over 3 years to help us open two new learning communities for first generation scholars, spaces that provide mentorship, tutoring, and community connection. And also housing for those first generation scholars and other students as part of this initiative. And your leadership gift would really set the tone for this effort and really signal to others that this is a priority for Ohio State and our community.
Charlotte, thank you so much for laying this out. This is exactly the kind of effort that speaks to my heart. I love how comprehensive the vision is. You're not just talking about financial aid, you're talking about belonging, stability, and confidence. That matters so much. The idea of building out learning communities with housing, mentorship, tutoring, that would have been such a game changer for me and others I knew back then. I can only imagine the impact it will have on current and future students. And the thought of being more involved directly, maybe even sharing my own story or mentoring, honestly, that means a lot to me personally, to come full circle in that way. As for the $100,000 over 3 years, I really appreciate the clarity and the time frame. That feels like something I can seriously consider and plan around. Let me take a couple days to look at how this fits with what I've already committed this year, but I feel very positive about it. It just aligns so perfectly with my values and what Ohio State gave to me. Thank you again for thinking of me for something so meaningful. Let's keep the conversation going as I look through next steps.
That's so wonderful, Alex. I'm really glad this resonates. I have so enjoyed our conversations over the years and connecting you with current Ohio State students and what we're doing here. We can absolutely walk through what the structure could look like, and I'll share a proposal with the details so you can review it this week. We are hoping to confirm leadership commitments by the end of the semester, and we can absolutely talk more about tailoring part of your gift to whatever initiative you feel most strongly about with the 1 million investment. So we will definitely continue to talk. Would you like me to send over a one-page summary we can review together, or how about following up in about a week's time?
That sounds perfect, Charlotte. I'd love to take a look at the one-page summary. It'll help me wrap my head around the full scope and think through some of the ways I might want to be personally involved too. And following up in a week sounds great. That gives me time to review and reflect, and we can have another thoughtful conversation about the path forward. I really appreciate how intentional and personal you've made this. It means a lot to me. I'm excited to keep moving forward together on this.
Great, Alex. Well, I can't thank you enough. I mean, I'm getting emotional about what this is going to do for so many students. And thank you enough. I seriously can't thank you enough for being such an integral part of this journey. Your support has made such a difference. And the fact that you're even considering this next step means so much to all of us. So thank you from our students, from our community, and I will get that to you today. And let's set a time for next week in our follow up to answer any questions and dive deeper into anything you want to discuss.
Charlotte, that means the world to me, truly. Hearing your heart in this just confirms that this is the right direction. I feel so grateful to be in a place where I can give back in a way that honors my own journey and helps open doors for others. Thank you for thinking of me and for the care and passion you bring to this work. I'll watch for the summary from you today. And yes, let's get next week on the calendar. I'm looking forward to our next conversation and to dreaming a little bigger together for these incredible students.
Alex, before we leave, would you be willing to just get that time on the calendar right now? Are you free next Thursday or Friday in the morning? We could meet for coffee on campus.
Yes, that sounds perfect, Charlotte. I'd love to meet for coffee on campus. What a great way to keep finding inspiration from the energy there, too.
Yeah, how about
Next Friday morning.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Friday, 9 a.m. sound great?
No worries at all. Yes, Friday at 9 a.m. sounds perfect.
Okay.
I'll be there and looking forward to it. Thanks again, Charlotte. This means a lot to me.
Thanks, Alex. Have a great day. Yay. So there we are. What a fun one to do because, they're ready. They are committed. This is a relationship that has developed over years. You've been discussing this program with them for quite some time. It's not, that it's not unexpected at this point. I think for me, making sure I'm solidifying those next steps, really coming, I almost forgot there to like actually get the time on the calendar, wanting to like get the materials to them and review quickly and make sure that I'm staying in the loop and connected with him. I think the other thing there that I really enjoyed was getting to hear some of um, his energy and passion around the initiative, and how that connected to his experience at the university and what matters most to him. So I'm excited to see Tivi's feedback. All right, so this is our feedback page. As we've shared in past weeks, we have 16 different skills in these 4 different areas: communication and delivery, fundraising, relationship building, and strategic thinking that Coach Tivi scores you on. And so you can check out those different skills here, and in the score that you received for each of those. And then to kind of understand what our scoring means, if you select any of them, you can click this "what does this mean?" and it'll give you the highest to lowest values here and a little snippet of like where you're at in that skill development. And yeah, so that was a good one. Feeling good about that. I think I'm curious about the ask effectiveness here because I made the ask. He seemed pretty committed to it. I didn't get a solid yes, so there definitely was some room to grow there. And I did confirm the next step, so want to make sure that ask is consistent there. But I want to dig in with Coach Tivi on this real quick.
Hello, Charlotte. How can I support you in improving the donor engagement score? I've seen your feedback and conversation. Let's explore how we can.
Nope, I had the wrong one selected, so I'm hopping back out. I wanted ask effectiveness, so let's dive back in.
Hello, Charlotte. How can I support you in improving the ask effectiveness? I've seen your feedback and conversation. Let's explore how we can strengthen this area together.
Yeah, hi, Coach Tivy. I felt pretty good about my ask effectiveness here. Had the plan laid out, the ask amount. I did provide that we were wanting to have a decision by end of semester, and I set up a follow-up time. I'm curious what you would recommend in replaying this scenario. What are some steps I could have taken to strengthen that ask?
You did a lot of things right, Charlotte. Clarity, vision, and relevance were excellent. What would have added more power to your ask was a touch of timely urgency grounded in impact. Right after you introduced the $1 M campaign and the ask amount, you could have added a simple, emotionally compelling statement about the cost of delay. Something like, "We already have students lined up for the mentorship program, and
Mm,
unless we secure these lead gifts this semester, we'll have to delay launch by a full academic year."
mm.
That kind of urgency connects the timing directly to the consequence for students, which is what nudges action even when a donor is already aligned. If you were to revisit the timing part of your ask, how do you think Alex would have responded to something like that?
I think you're right, Tivi. I think if I had provided a little bit more of an urgent ask there, an urgent need, given him a little bit more detail on where the program sat currently, and updated him on things like that, I could have gotten a stronger commitment for sure.
Exactly, Charlotte. You're already building high trust and strong alignment, so sharpening the urgency with real world stakes just leverages the momentum you're already creating. You're not adding pressure, you're offering clarity about why now matters. Before your next conversation with Alex, consider identifying one specific program.
And I'm going to cut Coach Tivy off there because we don't have a lot of time, but so nice to be able to talk through with her our different scores here and how we can improve those in our next session or in the real life conversation. So thank you again for joining us today. This was so fun. I love doing this each week, and I hope you all get to dive into this conversation and practice it because it is such an important one, especially this time of year. Thanks again, and we will see you next week.
With every modern tool and technology available to us, why do we still struggle to meet the donor where they are in their journey? It's because technology can't replace the number one skill set fundraisers use and need every single day to move from insights to action: the art of human conversation and connection. Because conversations move missions. The right conversation can unlock generosity, deepen trust, and fuel impact. But fundraisers rarely get a safe place to practice those high-stakes moments. That's why we built Practivated, the first AI-powered donor conversation simulator built just for fundraisers. Our AI coach, Tivy, provides real-time, personalized feedback so every fundraiser can build confidence, sharpen their storytelling, and strengthen relationships.
I'm your strategic fundraising coach built right into Practivated. My whole focus is helping fundraisers like you take confident, high-impact action by aligning with what truly drives donor behavior. I'm trained in evidence-backed strategies that center authentic connection, ethical storytelling, and time-smart execution. Nothing fluffy, all results-oriented. So whether you're navigating a tricky donor conversation, refining your outreach, or battling fundraising fatigue, I'm here for just-in-time guidance that's practical and actionable.
Ready to see it in action? Step into practice today. Practivated. Confidence for every conversation.